Folks, I come to you today, I want to tell you why we made the Traditions line. You know, through the history of decoying, ever since I was a kid, there was a product out there called a herder's decoy. They made them out of polystyrene balls, the same thing you make coolers out of. The small coolers that you have that break up so easy when you buy them, same thing that those decoys are made out of. It's a heat packing process. They put a bunch of the balls in there, run a little heat on it, into a form, and it makes a decoy. Now, in my hand is the Traditions decoy, our decoy. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute, but first I want to talk to you about how we got started in this. When the Cabela's, which was one of the recent owners of herders, decided they were going to quit making the body, we'd already had a full line of swivel heads that fit the herder 72 body. Now we've got the canvasback, we've got the bluebill, we've got the redhead, we've got a ring neck, and we also have other models coming in the 72 series. In the puddle duck series, we got the pintail and the mallard, which is the same as a black duck. And we can add them to it as well. Now, also in the 63 series, we got a full line of puddle duck heads, all the way from a widgeon. We got a shoveler. We have a wood duck head even. We've got, of course, the mallard head. And we got a teal head. All those can be used on the 63 size bodies. If you got old herders and you need heads, of course, we've always had heads for you. They're reasonably priced. They're here on the website. All you got to do is check it out. But what came different this year, what we brought to you this year, was the new generation of the Traditions decoy. The Traditions decoy is basically the same size, identical match. Y'all hang in there, I'll get you a decoy. Here you go, Mr. Canvasback. This is a herder's 72 body, okay? What you're looking at there is a 72 body. All right, this is their Traditions body. Look at the feather detail difference. We've raised the feather detail. We give it more contour on the pockets, more wing pocket, more natural tail, more rise to the shoulders, and we made more anatomically correct body. Now the advantage to that is it looks better on the water. Absolutely better. But if you still got a herder, we still got a head for you. Now we've also made a video, and look on this website for it. We've made a video on burlapping the decoy. One of our favorite guys that work with us, Garrett Trenum, he went ahead and made a video on burlapping. Y'all look for that and watch it, and you can learn how you can burlap your own Traditions body. We're proud of our new series. Behind me, here's my same swivel head system. Now when I say swivel head, it's built the same way. It's got an eye screw at the bottom, and the heads will swivel, and we got all the detail in the painting. And actually, if you look at this, of course everybody knows that this is a ring neck. Here, let me let you see the head. Ain't it pretty? But this is a ring neck, and we made this ring neck, and he looks just as good as all the rest of the divers, because a diver pretty much has the same style and shape. All divers do. This is our redhead. The redhead is not much different than, of course, the bluebill, because it's still the same head. It's just a different paint scheme, and it looks good. But the detail on the heads, as you can tell, very heavily cut, a little less light reflection than you would have any other time, and that softens the head. By the more cuts you have, the more shadows it casts. The more shadows it casts, it makes the paint softer. This is what all of your duck line is all about, trying to make a softer look so it looks more natural on the water. This is the same reason we made the undercuts and the feathers. Now, of course, the feather pattern you see here is not as deep as some of our others. And the reason being is because we wanted a happy medium between heavy feather cuts, but yet still creating shadows on the shallow side. And then heavy feather cuts we kind of reduced so that you could burlap it. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is it's soft enough to burlap, but not deep enough that you can't make the burlapping work, but still give you the effect of feather patterns to reduce the light. All that makes sense to you? I hope so. That is one of our other popular models, and these are all the 72s you see in relationship to body size. And of course, the most popular species of diver duck across the United States is the bluebill. You know, scaup, greater scaup, lesser scaup, he'll fit for either model. And, you know, we put enough green iridescence in the head and a little bit of blue iridescence, so he'll fit the mold for either species, whether it's the greater or the lesser. A great magnum size decoy, perfect for hunting over, and the bluebill is the bomb when it comes to that. Same again, swivel head. Now, to tell you a little bit about the bird's keel, he's got a keel system. As you see, it's a slot that's in here. This is the same eye screw system that you're used to. you don't over tighten it. But what made ours a little bit different on the eye screw is when we put it in inside of the neck, where most of them in the past have always broke on you, our heads won't break on you like others. For one, we got solid plastic bills. Okay, this is not foam, this is a solid plastic bill. It's an insert that goes up into the foam. So when we cast the foam around that insert, it encompasses that bill, makes it indestructible, virtually indestructible. I ain't gonna say you can't break anything. You can if you use an anvil against a piece of steel, it will bend it. But in this case, on the foam decoy, we know we've got the toughest foam decoy. We embedded a wing nut inside of here. So then when you screw this rusty bolt in there 10 years down the road, it's not gonna rip the head apart or break the stem like it has done on the old herders. You know, one of the biggest problems on the heads is they would snap that stem off. This ain't gonna happen. Our stem is up inside, our wing nut's up inside of the head. You can't beat the design. That goes right straight through to it. And only that, we got a flat washer up under that is encompassed in the foam. So when you're pulling against your flat washer on the bottom, once you get about 10 pounds of pressure there, you're done. It's really stiff, it don't turn easy. And of course you always need to line your eye bolt up to whichever way you want your head to be. If I turn it like that and I line it up, when the anchor pulls on it, it's gonna pull straight towards it, so it's not gonna make it twist. One of the biggest problems that herders had is they would unscrew on their own. These don't unscrew on their own because they touch. They go to a preening position and they touch. Now the canvasback will go all the way around because he's a little bit taller, and obvious reasons, because he's a canvasback. But that inverted keel design is the keel that you can take in, put out, but this one's in good. This is what a glued one does. That'll self-upright it. Now just cut it at a tapered angle. All you're looking at right there is about a 7-inch tube before inserting into the keel line. Over here I've got one loose. Hang in there. Don't want to drop my canvasback off the pier. This is the way that this particular one was cut. You'll find out that you can cut a multitude of ways. You can leave them square or whatever you want. But when you put it in, you can take Gorilla Glue, glue it in, and it's done. Excuse my sweating, it's kind of warm out here. But like I said, you put it in with Gorilla Glue, it's done. You got a keel there, you anchor it from here, and she'll self-upright for you. The more weight you put here, of course, the faster it'll self-upright, and the better it actually rides the water. This is the Tradition Decoy. I did not want to go through the history of decoys in the United States and not have a replacement for the herders. The herders' idea was a great idea. I understand why they dropped the ball, because they're so expensive to make. And it's hard for consumers to pay that much for a decoy. We know that some of you out there want that style of decoy. You want an unsinkable foam block that'll stay out there and run forever. Well, I can tell you that urethane foam versus the polystyrene balls that were squeezed together is 3 times, 4 times stronger and more durable than any of those herders decoys were in the past. But if you still got a couple hundred herders and you need heads, we are the people to call to get them, because our heads look great on there. Even on the 72 series puddler duck, okay? This is a puddler duck body. Now this body is beat up. We painted it white so you wouldn't think that, you know, we don't have herders. I mean, this is one of them that was laid around the shop for history. I think this one belonged to my great-granddaddy. But anyway, the body on this thing is kind of beat up. We painted it white for this demonstration. But to give you an idea, if y'all have any vision at all, let's look at what the mallard head. This is a mallard head. I'm going to run it through. I'm going to screw it on just a little bit for you. I'm not going to go through the whole process, because it actually takes quite a bit of screwing to get way up in there. All right, now just take a look at that head on that body. Now, does that shape of that head look anything like your herder's head? I know the answer to that, and everybody else does too. No. This looks a lot better than any herder's head I've ever seen. And this is our mallard head. Now, it's absolutely gorgeous, good shape, pivots perfectly on your 72 puddler body. You can't ask for a better looking head to do that with. And it's absolutely attractive. Look at the shape versus the body along with the body. Now, you just figure what it would look like painted. Also, we carried that pintail, which they used to actually take the mallard head and they would paint it into a pintail. And to me, that pintail was not very attractive, but people hunted with them for years. So if you still have a 72 puddle duck body, you might want to try the pintail that we have to replace it, so that you at least got a pintail head that kind of looks like a pintail. You know, because we actually got a little bit of detail in here, the right size bill for it. Here again, I'm not screwing these all the way in because it just takes a lot of time for demonstration purposes. Now look at that pintail. Does that head not look a lot better than the head that used to be out there? Look at the detail from the back, the front, the side. These are gorgeous heads. These heads are available on the website. Not to say that we're not going to make a 72 puddle duck body. We might. If you look on the website, keep watching it, you will see it on the Traditions side, 72 series puddle duck. And if we do make the 72 series puddle duck, be sure to get it. It'll be the same way. Put your own keel in it. And remember, you can always hunt any of our Traditions decoys, any of the long line decoys, any of the other style decoys we have without a keel in them. You just have to place them so they'll float fine. But if you add a keel, then they self upright. But if you want them light, you can keep them light. If you want to add weight, just put a keel in them. But remember, the whole issue of what I've talked about here, and if you buy a head from us, any of these, we're going to send you the realistic looking eyes that you see here, and it'll be painted gray just like this so you can paint your own decoy. This is the ring neck and the canvasback. They come with both the stem rod that you see right here and the eye screw. And when you get them, it's already embedded. Like I said, the lock washer is up inside of the bird, and so is the nut. And that wing nut, not lock washer, the wing nut is up in there, and so is the flat washer. And that is what holds the strength in here. I mean, you can pull, and pull. It ain't going to come apart. That's what it's designed for. And you can buy the unpainted version too, as well as you can buy our bodies unpainted. Just like you could everything that Herders had, we try to duplicate because we didn't want the tradition to die. And that's why we call them the Traditions Decoys. Enough talking. Look at the website, find out what you need, order it. We'll see to it that you get it.